philanthropic work as well. And meeting somebody like him helped me get some context around the work I was doing, a little bit of focus, because we know how it gets, very excited and passionate about all the things we work on. So it was good to have someone tune in nicely and say, okay, I think this is, these are the things that I think stand out about you, which is wonderful. He's been incredible. It's a wonderful man.
And I agree. And I want to dive into what it is that you're doing. But first, how did you meet Philip Chan?
I met Philip through mutual friends, especially in the creative realm. And then I also do a lot of charity work. So I work with an organization called the Circle NGO. I'm a member, not a spokesperson, of course. And we work individually and as part of other collective circles. So, for example, we have the media circle, we have the music circle, there's the lawyers circle, the London circle, and the US circle members as well. And what we do is collectively come together to work on events and fundraising for helping to empower vulnerable women and young girls across the world. And those projects can vary, but the great thing is we do our own projects. So some of the charity work I was doing, we had some mutual friends in common working on that. And Philip obviously is a great supporter and friend of UNICEF. And I also have some connections with the United Nations in some of my past work. So this is how we were able to connect.
Brilliant. I wonder if Philip ever sleeps. I know I have been in communication with him. It's 3 a.m. over there. I'm like, okay, he's still working. He's still awake.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, this is our life. This is how we are, right? We're just rock and roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's talk about your background as a creative, as an artist. How did you get started, and what part of being an artist means the most to you?
What a great question. So I actually started singing and writing. My classical training began when I was 8 years old in London. My father is a musician. I did not know this until many years later, but I was trained classically in the clarinet and the guitar. And apparently the teachers at school at that time did not want me learning any musical instruments at all. I desperately wanted to learn the piano, which I eventually taught myself. But my father went in and really duked it out with them and said, you're not going to stop her. And all that was left was a clarinet. But thank God, because years of training with the clarinet meant that in terms of breathing and structure, and one day this voice came out, and that was it. I fell in love with singing, and I haven't stopped since. What I love most about being an artist is that it's like meditation for me. It's a huge amount of fun. I've been able to get to know who I am and explore the world through my art. But more importantly, I've been able to give back and be able to connect to other people and tackle topics that, from a woman's perspective, especially a woman from my background, which is South Asian, growing up in Britain to two Indian immigrant parents, one of whom actually grew up in England, but still this melting pot of cultures, a little bit of Bowie, a little bit of Prince, and then ghazals and rags, and just this mishmash of cultures clashing all over the place. For me, it's created a lot of peace for myself, and I've been able to help, hopefully, inspire other people and provide some peace and joy and some fun, I hope.
Well, fun is important, isn't it? Because if we're not having fun, we're probably not passionate about what we're doing. So I see the way you're lighting up and how much it means to you.
It means a lot to me. I think the world that we're living in right now, especially as an artist, I think initially in my 20s and younger years, that sort of hunger for recognition, the hunger for being heard, being seen, all of that was in me in the same way that it is in lots of other people. Fame, such a great thing to look at, isn't it? Let's all be bright and shiny. But the world that we live in now needs help. And what a wonderful way to be able to engage with others and make a difference. I'm able to raise money, contribute, and take all of these themes about connecting, about having empathy, about men and women coming together and finding balance in our universe into my creative work. So as much as I'm an activist, activism's been a huge part of my journey as a musician, from bands like Asian Dub Foundation all the way to Reverend Billy's Church of Stop Shopping, which I spent time with in New York as well. I can't separate the two, the humanitarian values, the work that we need to do as humanity to come together, empathize with each other, and communicate and be heard collectively. I think that's definitely where the power of music comes in.
I definitely agree with you. And I think we're both of the same mindset that we need to put egos aside, and that's that quest for fame and money and capitalism. We need to be more heart centric, I really feel like, so that we can lift each other up, really be there to listen to one another and support each other. So I really admire the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. And you're doing amazing work too. I love the fact that we both have that New York connection. And I can tell you where I used to live. And you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know whereabouts that is. I miss New York. But, New York was such a massive part of my journey. I moved there in 2005. And on the second day that I arrived, one of our clients, she unfortunately had just lost her father, but she said, I'm going to rent out my place in Cobble Hill and I'm going to Antarctica for 2 weeks. And consciously, my thought was, okay, that's crazy. But in my heart was this sort of whisper that sort of said, I really wonder what that would be like. Fast forward 9 years, I've gone through an experience where I had a back injury and I recovered from that. But as part of that, I was able to see my life and really get in touch with the things that matter to me. So 9 years later, I am at a TEDx UN conference and I hear Robert Swan OBE speaking. He is the first person to have walked the North and South Poles. And he was running a leadership course to Antarctica, a 2-week expedition. And I saw his presentation and just sat there and said, I'm going to Antarctica. I'm going. Don't ask me how. I know that I'm going. I'm meant to go. And the next few weeks were really blurry because I worked for a company that had some wonderful solutions in place, everything from desalination to solar panels to you name it. So I did my best to help the cause that Robert had at the time, which was to redo the expedition, which has happened since, but using, zero fossil fuels to do so. So no combustible fuel, anything like that, the lowest carbon footprint possible. And I believe that they achieved that on the most recent expedition. But the miracle of the whole thing was there was a moment where in my heart, I knew I was going and it didn't seem like I could. So there was a period of time where I just felt like I was in confusion because my heart and my gut was saying, you're going. But the world outside of me was saying, this isn't happening. And, you really need to let this go. But miracle of miracles, I got a time saying, Sangeeta, we put your name in for a sponsor and we found you a sponsor and we will be sending you to Antarctica if you'd still like to go. We will cover the cost of the expedition. So that for me was like a gift from the heavens being dropped on my head. And I went off on this adventure on a 2-week expedition all the way to Argentina and then to Ushuaia, and from there onto a boat through the Drake Passage and to Antarctica, which I believe began the healing part of my journey.
What a fabulous story. I really love that. And you knew you wanted to go. You felt you were meant to go, but yet in the real world around you, it didn't seem like that was going to be possible. So was there some point, Sam Sera, where you actually changed your mindset and kind of were just thinking, yeah, I'm going to let it go? Or were you always saying to yourself, I know what the world's saying here, but somehow it's going to happen?
Yeah, it's the strangest experience internally that in my body, I think, that I've had in a really long time, because there was no letting it go, even if I tried to. And it wasn't heady energy. This was a knowing, and it was deep. It was, I'm going. I don't know how. And then all these events were taking place where I couldn't, or it didn't look like I could. And my heart was sinking, but that belief never left me that this is happening. And that little whisper was there, which was, no, you're going, you're going. And then, of course, this wonderful gift, I get a phone call and I got 2 weeks to go get your stuff. Let's get you ready. And the best thing about it, because I had had surgery and recovered from my injuries, I really thought in those 2 weeks that I would hurt, that my body would hurt, that I wouldn't be able to, run around with everybody else at the same pace. My body wasn't in the place it's in now, which is completely healed, but it had taken quite a beating and I'd been through quite a lot. The process of going to Antarctica just blew my mind. You cannot litter in Antarctica. It does not tolerate rubbish. On that boat wasn't just me, were other people who were leaving homes, leaving jobs, breaking up partnerships. It was almost as if it was a 100% calling that said, I want you here. That whole place, the entire place was saying, come over here, but do not bring any of the stuff that you really don't need with you, because you can't leave your rubbish here. But I did it. And that was the awakening for me, which was I've climbed the glaciers and I'm 2 weeks in and I'm not in pain. I'm not in 1 ounce of pain. So that's when I woke up and said, it's just my mind that's holding me back. My body is actually healed. And I think diving in to the ocean, doing the polar plunge, is what reset my body. Honestly, there is a video which I will show at some point online and live to people, but I jumped in and you can hear on the video someone saying, I don't think she's coming up, because I went in and the only way I knew that I was above sea level was because I heard someone call my name, and then I was able to say, yeah, I'm okay. Of course I screamed quite a bit because it was really, really, really cold. And it was an important moment just personally for me too. We had close to 50 people on the expedition from 29 nations across the world. And this is an expedition that goes out every year. People can go to the 2041 Foundation website and sign up. There's not just Antarctica, there's other expeditions taking place as well to the Himalayas and beyond. But in that moment, I think I was second to last jumping in of the people who chose to. And I didn't feel good. And it wasn't my body. And I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't feel like I was deserving or worthy of the experience. But I knew that if I just had this knowing that if I don't accept who I am now and how I am now, I never will. And that is what made me jump.
Wow, so many powerful statements that you shared. I want to just kind of peel that back a little bit. So you mentioned this voice. Was that your intuition, do you think, or was it something else that told you were going to be going?
There's no voice to it. It's a feeling, but it was a very powerful feeling, and it was kind of here between sort of my solar plexus kind of area. It wasn't heavy. There was no charge almost to it, but it was charged enough to be grounding. It wasn't floaty. It wasn't something whispering in my ear, and it didn't have words really. It was a knowing, and that's the only way I can describe it. But it was that powerful. I couldn't shake it. I could not shake it.
Interesting. Fascinating, really. Question I have for you is, what were you told the experience was going to be like versus when you jumped in, and what was it really like?
Well, the team were fantastic. They took us through survival training. We worked in teams, tied to each other. And the way that we operated in terms of this training was to put one foot in front of the other, following the leader's footsteps. And that's how we knew that the steps we were taking would be safe, right? So a similar sort of philosophy applied to all the experiences that we had, even though we were outdoors. This is a very unforgiving environment. The water is below 0 degrees Celsius. We're talking seriously cold here, which is dangerous for the human body. So we were prepped in terms of, if you do get water into your mouth and it hits the back of your throat, at a certain age there is an automatic reflex that will take place that will close your throat, so that could be dangerous. Then of course health conditions, heart conditions, all of that can put stress on the body, and so that can be dangerous too. But I don't recall anyone really telling us what we would experience when we jumped in, so that we could have the experience. Because I can only speak for myself. I don't know what happened for others. I can tell you now that when I came out of the water, it was as if my body rebooted itself. I could feel like an electrical charge go from my toes through my feet, and I literally felt my system just go start to reboot. All the energy started to come back on, and that's how I felt like my whole system was being reset.
And I'm just trying to imagine, you're just about to jump, right? I see you standing there. Were you in complete fear? Were you with excitement, anticipation?
I was terrified. I was terrified. I'm tempted to say, would you like to see the video?
Yes.
Really? Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see if
We can actually go to commercial break and you can get it ready. We'll take a look at it. That would be great.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a commercial break. And because of the topics that we're discussing today, I'm going to play a clip I've been running today. It's called the Earthshot Prize. I want to thank Ian Pelham-Turner and Helena Shard in the UK for providing this. And then we'll watch a couple of other videos and we'll be right back with Sam Sera. Stay with us here.
What you give me is just not enough. I need a love to take me higher and higher and higher. Every step I take, I feel more awake. Getting closer now, I feel so alive. Stopping me, this is how I live. Ever closer now. Just follow love, and love will take you there.
Ours is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted.
We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that.
We face
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads and also Business Talk Radio. I want to thank my vocal coach, the award-winning artist Madeline Chan, for her sponsorship. And again, thank you to Ian Pelham-Turner and Helena Shard. You are watching I Have a Story to Tell, except it's not my story, it's Sam Sera's story. And in the first segment of our show, we were finding out some information about her background. She is a songwriter, actor, creative technologist, and philanthropist. So we were talking last, right before the break, about you being on this ship, this boat, ready to jump off into the freezing cold water in Antarctica. And I know you have a clip that we're going to show. So what would you like to tee up before we play that?
I will just say, I was asked, you see, whether I would like to be filmed and would like any photographs. And again, I didn't really want to be, but it occurred to me that this may never happen again. And there might be a time when I look back and I don't feel the way that I felt in that moment. So thank God we have a video.
Right. I'm excited to see this. Never before seen here on USA Global TV or heard on Business Talk Radio. Let's take a look.
Okay, so.
Oh God, I'm so fucking doing
You got this.
Dude,
So
good.
step up here.
Uh-huh.
Wait for a while. Smile at the camera. And we're gonna count down to 3 and we'll go. Ready? She said yes.
Oh, wow.
Jumpers, she said yes.
I said yes.
She said yes. Photos. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Great job. You're right. Yeah.
Oh my God!
2, 1, go. And cover her.
You're not going to come up.
And then I say lots of really not so cool things.
Should I take it off?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. I was getting the chills watching that. I was waiting when they were holding you for you to say, no. I changed my mind. So do you get emotional when you're watching it?
Every single time. Every time. And every time I see something different. I don't watch it very often. But it's there. And it cheers me up sometimes, but every single time I feel something, just the person that I was, the experience that I had there, it was very spiritual. And for someone who wasn't feeling very good about herself, wasn't really sure of what was coming next, and had been through so much physically as well. There was a moment just standing there looking at the ocean, and I'm right back there as soon as I see my face, which is interesting. But I am happy to see it, because I'm not necessarily the person I was then, but I have so much love for the person that I was at that time, physically and otherwise. I'm really proud of myself for doing it. And I highly recommend it, by the way, for anyone who can, health issues aside, if you ever get the chance, take it. Reach out to the foundation, reach out to 2041.com. The website's there. Climate Force is a team that's come together to work on green and sustainable technology as well. Tech companies coming together. And a big part of the reason why, not just because I'm a woman, I'm a feminist and I write about women's issues and being a South Asian woman and a minority, is because I do strongly believe that with everything that's going on in the world right now, women are the creative feminine force on this planet, and we will get it fixed. It's us who will get it done, and we need the men to come together with us and help us to do that.
Thank you so much for your transparency and for your courage and for being so brave. This show is I Have a Story to Tell. So I would love if you could share with us what you feel comfortable. You said that, you physically see the person you were and you remember the person you were. How would you say you've changed physically, emotionally, spiritually as a result of that jump?
Ooh, that's such a great question. I think the first thing is I'm much more in touch with my body. Through that experience, I feel quite strongly that I am not my body. It works with me. And I can check in with it anytime. Our body, to me, and my awareness of that is that our body holds the record of all the things we don't say, all those subconscious thoughts, the things we haven't expressed, the beliefs that we've held on to about ourselves are locked somewhere in our muscles, which again is why, acting training and music and, even the technology world is so powerful to release all of that. I would say I'm a truer, more aligned version of myself than I was then. And thank God for that experience, because I love who I am. I mean, I loved who I was then, but I love myself more now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's great to meet you. And thanks for creating the space so we can share our stories.
It's my pleasure. I get so much joy out of hearing, meeting you, hearing your story. It's just very inspirational. So, with the remainder of our show, I'd love to talk about your philanthropic work. And also, we are running a banner across the bottom where people can make a donation. So, if you would share, what are the causes, you already mentioned one, but that you're most passionate about, and why should people care and help?
Thank you. The two causes that I support and work to actively engage with consistently are the Circle NGO, which enables and empowers vulnerable women and young girls across the world, improving their conditions, but also providing funds and assistance, especially recently in terms of COVID-19 relief. And that is about, women basically being empowered to being more in touch with themselves, healing, and raising the level of awareness and vibration on this planet, right? Because we are so tied to nature and creation. And beyond that, just as a woman myself, helping where we can. It's about time for the balance to come into play here, and we're doing our bit to improve that. At the same time, I support Climate Force and the 2041 Foundation because I believe the work that we're doing there to combat climate change is critical to our survival as a species on this planet. We have to come together to solve the issues we're dealing with right now. If we look at just one issue like displacement of people because of climate change, look at COVID as well and the number of women who are being impacted, this is leading to a rise in violence across the planet. Just that by itself is enough to indicate that it's not over yet. There are some tougher times ahead, I believe. But I think if we support each other and we come together and we raise these funds and provide those resources where they're necessary to elevate these voices, the voices around supporting the planet, fighting climate change, and helping to empower women, vulnerable women, and young girls across the planet, then I think we're off to a brilliant start.
Thank you. I agree with you. And I think there is definitely going to be fallout from COVID. And I think there's a lot of change that's still to come that we haven't even seen yet. I'm wondering, we ran during the break a clip called The Earth Shot. And I'm wondering what came up for you as you watched that video.
I thought it was fantastic. I want to see it again. I loved everything that you played during the commercial. Madeline Chen is incredible, of course. She's amazing, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to her and working with her some more as well. She's amazing. It was so on point. It was so on point. These are the issues we're facing right now, and they need to be front and center. There's a lot of noise around the edges, but I see that as being symptomatic. The earth is crying out for assistance. Call it the tipping point. I've had other spiritual experiences that tell me that this is the time. It's not the time to be holding back. So spreading love, supporting each other, empathy. And I don't mean, not holding people accountable, by the way. I think we absolutely need to do that for each other and for those in power. But it comes down to us human beings on this planet. The thing that video reminded me of, and that Antarctica showed me for sure, is that we are the vulnerable ones, not the animals. They're looking out for us. And the more attention that we pay to the world around us, the better things are going to turn out for humanity in the long run.
I agree with you. I mentioned earlier that I live on an island. So when I look out, I see tons of water. It's absolutely beautiful. And then all of a sudden you'll see some trash just floating there. And you think, how did this get there? You can go to the beach and you see things washing up on the shore, and it's because we put it there. Yeah. And there are other beings who are living there, and they don't deserve that. So I just wish that each of us could take accountability to do one thing to help our planet, to help our community. It's not that hard. People always think they don't have time, but you do have time. You just have to change where you prioritize your time.
And it's one simple thing. I don't have all the answers. Nobody in the team, the teams that we work with, has all the answers. But it is that one thing, that one change that we can make. And it's a personal change, and it adds up as you go. Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Thank you. So you mentioned Madeline Chan, And Madeline is a sweetheart. We've had her on here, and she's my vocal coach. And she and I have a course coming up, The Power of Listening, using breath, voice, and your listening skills. So tell us about your connection with her.
So again, the amazing Philip Chen introduced us to each other. So we have been talking, and as songwriters and creators and women, we have some fantastic ideas that we've been talking about. So hopefully we'll be able to touch base and create something new for everyone to hear. And I love what you're creating with Madeline as well, Dr. Jacalyn. Listening, absolutely listening, hearing each other, being more present. And now that people are speaking up, women are speaking up, everybody across the world is now learning, I think, collectively to use their voices, especially across social media, the whole BLM movement, now that we're doing that, yes, absolutely. It's all about communication, isn't it? And hearing each other in not just through our words, but through our actions, through our deeds and our behavior towards each other.
I agree. And you know what? I'm getting this feeling that maybe you, Madeline, and I are going to do something involving listening. So I feel that's coming out.
I would love that. I'm totally in.
Wonderful. So tell us what's next for you.
What's next for me? We have a release coming out soon. It's a video called Nothing's Wrong With Me. And once again, I'm looking at the female narrative. It's looking at the stereotypes leveled at independent women. I filmed it on a subway. I'm not going to say just yet until the video comes out. And it's looking at those stereotypical judgments that are leveled at women like myself, who are independent, who've gone into the world and haven't felt the need to partner up or have kids, but have looked after our careers or, focused on the other things that we love and built our support networks from our friends, etc., and moved countries, lived across the world. But of course, it's a universal message. And again, it addresses those judgments, exposes them. It's not to be confrontational, but it's kind of just to put it out there and say, well, yes, this is how people talk about women like me or women like us. And just that awareness by itself, I hope, raises questions and helps people to ask the right questions so that we can start to do better with each other.
Brilliant. And Sam Sera, having lived in New York and the UK and going back and forth, what would you say are some of the differences that really stand out for you about women in New York, business women versus in the UK?
So I moved to New York in 2005. And so just to put that into context, so that's after the horrid incident with the Twin Towers. So that was after 9/11. I worked in an office where many of the people had been affected by that day and the events of that day. Of course, we all were, the whole world was. But one of the things that stood out to me, there would be times when I would ask for things and I would just walk into an office or a manager's office or something and say, I'd really like to do this training, or I'd really like to look into X, Y, and Z. And I'd get this interesting face. And I really didn't know what that was. And slowly over time, I realized, I grew up in Britain and we had Margaret Thatcher, who was Prime Minister of this country. Not making any comments about Margaret Thatcher and her politics. I'm just saying that there was a woman in power. And I felt the difference. And I did put it down to that. I grew up in a country where she was already in a position of power. And for me to walk in and know what I wanted and ask for what I wanted was different to some of the other women I was working with. Not that they didn't have the courage or have the same needs or wants or the ability to express it, but the way they approached the situation was different. They, I put it this way: there is a secret handbook written by men but enforced by women. And this is something that we can dive into maybe another time.
I'm loving that. We definitely will have to have you back to discuss that.
More than happy to.
So do you feel, in your experience as a creative, as an artist, that New York offers more options than what you'll find outside of New York, maybe in the UK? Or do you feel that the opportunities are the same because we have technology now that can really put us anywhere at any time?
So let's just be clear about something here. There is nothing on the planet that will ever compare to the spirit of a New Yorker and New York City. There's nowhere on the planet like it. I love New York and I always will. I love London too. But for me, on a personal level, New York is where I had time to develop my craft, to do some training, and to develop as a person. You know, I was in that phase of my life where I wasn't just who am I was out there trying things out, trying things on. So for me, it's my spiritual home, which I know sounds weird because we're talking about New York City here. There's on the surface, there's not much, but I learned so much, and I love the grit and I love the grind. I think the difference is that New York expects you to be up front and center, speak up, be clear, and get on with it. I think London operates similarly at heart, but communication-wise, it's slightly different.
Good analysis. I remember decades ago, the first time I went to New York, and I lived in Pennsylvania, and we went to a restaurant. I was with my parents, and we were sitting outside, and there were people from all over the world speaking different languages, and I just couldn't believe it because I didn't have that where I was brought up, and I just was fascinated about it. And so I always liked to go to New York because I felt like you would get the experience of meeting people from different parts of the world with different backgrounds and different cultures. And now today with technology, it's amazing. I mean, here you are, right, joining from outside London, and I just had somebody from Russia and Dubai, and it's fantastic.
It's incredible. I have to say, when I was working in the world went into lockdown, I had been remote for a really long time. I'd been online a lot of the time, and then all of a sudden everybody was online, and I went, oh my God, hold on a second, where did you all come from? I was really enjoying the whole work from home life, and then everybody was doing it, and next thing you know, you've got your work meetings online, and then your social life is online. Oh my goodness. I think we are navigating our balance, but you're absolutely right. It's the democratization, it's the borderless world that we live in now, and absolutely there should be nothing preventing any of us from reaching out and crossing those borders and building bridges.
I feel like I have a lot in common with you because I've always been a career girl, no kids, really love helping other people, fundraising, and love New York as well. So I also worked from home for almost my whole career, and I had the same thing as you. It's like, wait a minute, what are all these people doing now? Everything's online. It's crazy.
Exactly.
But we focus on the positives.
Yes, exactly. If we've got time, if you'd like, I can show you the video as well for Nothing's Wrong With Me. Or we can save that till next time.
No, sure. We can take a break. We'll take a break, and then we will come back and we'll take a look at your clips. So here we go. We're going to hear from Ilo. I'm going to put up this Licorice Dragon Records. Do you know Ilo?
No, I don't. Amazing.
She's a singer from the UK, and her song is Heroes in Disguise. So we'll see her perform as well as the wonderful Tony Moore. And we'll be right back after this.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. We are back with more of Sam Sera here on USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We have been to the Arctic. We have been through climate change. We have been to New York and to London. Where are we going now?
We are going into the mind of a very independent young woman on her way to work or somewhere on the train.
Okay.
Let's sing.
Who's her man?
Whose man?
Her man.
There's no man.
No man.
Is she gay?
No, she's got to find a man.
Which man? I don't have a man.
She must be gay with no man.
Gandhi. She's too old for a
What
man.
about an old man?
Doesn't she want children?
She's too old for children.
What about old children?
What the What about a black man?
No, not a black man.
What about a Muslim man? No, not a Muslim.
What about a very dark Indian man?
Oh yeah, of course. Probably needs a passport.
Well, as long as he's an Indian.
What man? She's gay.
She's not gay.
Bitch.
Am I gay?
I'd her.
I don't have a man. Does that make me gay?
I'd still her.
I'd her too.
Istifrola.
But he'll want children. Does she want children?
She could have my children.
She has a job.
Oh yeah, she's got a very good job. And she cooks.
Then why does she need a man?
I don't need a man.
She needs a man.
She needs a beating.
Just you try.
She's too headstrong.
Can she roll a joint?
Yes, she's great with her hands.
And she's smart. Very smart.
I don't have a man, okay? And I'm fine, okay? There is
Thank you.
Wow, that was exceptional.
I'm so glad you liked it. This is the first live play of it anywhere. You just got the exclusive, Dr. Jacalyn.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. By the way, I'd be happy to play it for you on our shows if you'd like.
Oh, I would love that. I
love that. I was nothing wrong with me. And the way you had the whole thing directed, it's so true. Being on the subway, everyone's looking and thinking and talking. Wow. I love how you put this together as well.
Thank you.
Kevin Bacon, please consider being my next video.
Yes, the next one. The next one is amazing. So, you know, there's all these projects. I am trying to raise awareness and also address the narrative. So, yes, I do need Kevin Bacon for the next one. It's something quite iconic. And the song is a country song. And I have a very specific idea that I think he might like.
So do you have any connections with him?
I'm working on it. I'm close. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, his name has come up. So, I'm trying to I'm aiming for Kevin here. And unfortunately, yes, if we do go with someone else, they are going to need to be okay with the fact that it was Kevin that we originally were looking for. But please don't take it personally. What I'm really looking for is someone to have fun and be a part of an experiment, just as I've done with this video for Nothing's Wrong With Me, which, by the way, was recorded at a studio that was originally built by Frankie Valli. So that was another thing. So there's a whole story.
Wow.
There's a whole story behind writing that song, because the two were separate. The sketch was separate, and the song was done very quickly because we had some budget left over and a slot in the schedule. The sketch was done way before that, and it just happened in the moment that we brought it together, and we filmed the whole thing in a day too. I mean, we're talking guerrilla style. Those are all my friends, apart from one person, which is the wonderful Muslim man who got on the train that day because I was down a person and just kindly agreed to take part. So how I roll. Yeah.
How did you keep the public from being on the subway car?
We didn't, and that was the miracle of it. We all managed to get to the train station at the same time, get into the same car, and the rest was serendipity. We didn't have to ask anyone to move or change seats. We didn't interfere with any of the environment, and that was something that I was keen on too. Just some of my projects have really been about intention and seeing how that intention, once you carry it in your body, can affect the environment around you. So I didn't want to interfere with anything, and lo and behold, the perfect person walks through the door on the train and joins us, and he was amazing. Mr. Mohammed, he was wonderful. But no, there was no, nothing was planned. It wasn't contrived. These were all handhelds and very simply done, so that we could have maximum fun and minimum stress and create something cool. That was it, really. Get the point across.
The point is so clear, and I think that the song is absolutely beautiful. Your voice is beautiful. The messaging, it's a 10 across the board.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me. It's been a long journey, and with COVID, of course, so that was filmed well before the pandemic, and of course I held on to it. Nothing's wrong with me during the pandemic. It was a tough time for everybody, so now things are moving again. I'm ready to let the world hear it and see it and enjoy it.
Yes, please let it out there. And again, if I would love to play it on our shows, email it to me and I'd be happy to.
I will send it to you, I promise.
Fantastic. And thinking about Kevin Bacon, what about Philip Chan? Maybe he can help.
Philip Chan's, of course he's in it. I mean, goes without saying. Got a special role just for him.
I love it. Well, I'm going to spotlight you and play your banner. And please let people know the best way to reach you and who should reach out to you.
The best way to reach me is, I think, through my email address, which is info@samsera.co. If you are someone who is interested in helping to improve the lives of women and vulnerable young women and girls across the world, please send a message over. If you are someone who would like to understand how technology can help us in the fight against climate change, and also to raise awareness of all of the issues that are affecting women across the world, global feminism is the term that we use. And any donations, anything like that, please donate. All of the money goes towards creating content and covering costs for making sure these pieces of information, these funds, these foundations, the fundraising that we need to do can take place. All the material I create has that charitable arm to it. Nothing that I do goes, into the system in the same way as sort of, ka-ching. It's not about that. I'm all about making a difference wherever I'm engaging. So info@samsera.co. So SAMSERA.co. The other way to reach me is through Instagram, but I look forward to hearing from you. I'm on social media @Sam Sera. So hopefully you'll be able to find me easily enough. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work and then your big moments, that leap, that jump into the next thing. And look where it took you.
Thank you. I didn't know how this was going to go, Dr. Jacalyn, but I'm very pleased. This is great. We talked about so much.
We definitely did, and you have to come back again. And now, because of StreamYard, we have the power to run replays. So I'll be running this many more times, and I'll tag you on it.
Thank you so much. This is great. I'm going to be back definitely to do a show, I think, in a few weeks and play some music for you, some live music, do some performances. But it's been wonderful speaking to you, and I really appreciate the space that you've created. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I mentioned, you, Madeline, and I will get together and see where that can go.
I cannot wait.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, Philip Chan. We're thinking of you. All right. We'll see you later. Thank you, Sam Sera.
Take care.
Bye. I love what I do. Do you see why? People from all over the world, so talented, so creative, have been through so many things and yet come here and share their story to help other people, to inspire, to motivate, to engage, and of course, we want to entertain as well. If you have a story to share, please do go to our website, drjacalyn.com, and we'll be happy to get you booked on a future show. Okay, so before we wrap up today, I want to share something that I'm really excited about. I haven't talked about it in a while. It is the Talking Heads program. The Talking Heads program is by invitation only. It is a platform we are rolling out in January. It is for the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors across the world, people who have a minimum of 5 years experience and are considered to be experts and leaders. They will come forth on this platform and present on a weekly basis a short presentation to help us be better personally and or professionally. If you think you have what it takes to be a talking head, we'd love to hear from you. And you can go ahead and reach out to us. Here is the email address, info, I-N-F-O, at usaglobaltv.com. Again, the Talking Heads program is rolling out in January. We already have some incredible people on board. And the next thing I would like to share with you is about the listening program, the power of listening. We are running specials so that people can, regardless of your income, we're trying to make it so that it's affordable for everyone. We have 3 courses. The power of listening. You can attend Mondays or Thursdays, but we also are doing times that are convenient for other people as we have a global audience. If you reach out and you don't see a time that works for you, we will figure it out. As long as there are 2 of you, I'm happy to host the seminar. What can you expect to take away from it? You will be able to see in your own pattern of behavior where you can grow, where you can change what you're doing to be a more effective listener. And let's face it, if each of us, every one of us, learned how to listen, this world would be a much more peaceful place. So do go over to Eventbrite, to the Power of Listening, and sign up for one of our 3 seminars, and hopefully sign up for all of them. All right. Thank you again for being here. I'm looking forward to seeing you when we have Pet Psychic Amina coming up shortly. And then, of course, we have our stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. Thank you for watching. If you missed this, please go over to USA Global TV if you're just joining us on YouTube, and you can just put in this show, which is I Have a Story to Tell. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye.